like a ton.
Okay, let's go. Okay, last time we ended with the tshuva from of harfenis ben ogetum. Let's say a guy's at a kiddush, and the fellow over here, he's eating cholent at the kiddush, right? So the shaila is, does he now need to eat cholent during his actual suda, or do we say no? We had it at the kiddush, so it's good. All right. Now, another shaila is masha kasva poiskim that you should eat fish. Some say you should eat fish at your Shabbos. We're going to be learning more about this, by the way. I realize we didn't even touch the Piskei Teshuvos yet. So, talking about fish at your Shabbos Suda, is that specifically in the Suda itself that you need to eat it? Or does that help that you had fish by your Kiddush before the Suda? So he says a Kiddush. He says that you should eat There's a concept of eating the cholent and the fish specifically during the Suda itself. The Ramah writes in Siman Reishon and Zion, he says that there's a mitzvah to have hot food on Shabbos. That's covered on Oneg Shabbos. Actually, it's discussed. You have hot food, not like the Sudukim. They say that if you don't have hot food on Shabbos, you have to worry that maybe the fellow's a Suduki, that he didn't have the hot food, which means that they didn't believe in the Torah Shabbal Peh. So there's an idea of having hot food. So now we have a shayla over here. Someone who eats cholent or fish by a kiddush, which it's only possible by kissing, and he's only having mezainos, but it's not a full-fledged suda. So maybe he doesn't need to eat it anymore by the suda that he's going to have at home, that he's having with challah, with actual bread. So there's room to say that he should eat it dafko during the suda. The time shalachilas malchalam hanizkir la'el mishum shu machal chosh mishum monig Shabbos mashum also devarim tivim menashus Shabbos yebederach oinegim tavshil. The whole idea of the Shabbos suda is that it should be pleasurable. So therefore, you should have specifically these food items in the Suda itself, especially what the Magen Avraham Paskins in Reishman Beis Shem Mikubalim Sherboy Lechel Dogim Kolagim Suda Shabbos. We're going to come back to that more, slice and dice that up. That it's fitting to have fish at all of the 3 meals of Shabbos. So Shabbos night, Shabbos day, Shabbos Shudas.
Interesting.
So especially according to that, you should have fish during the Suda. Sometimes the morning could be the most lenient when it comes to the fish, and therefore, consequently, this would certainly apply. This would certainly apply all the more so if you had by the Kiddush. If you ate by Kiddush, you had fish at the Kiddush. All right, that makes sense. This halacha is not so fishy. V'ayin shayos and chuvas maharam el shakar in simin kuf zayin. What is there over there? Shemash shekosov harambam. The Rambam over there says sheyikfa gimel sudo Shabbos. Al hayayin ein mishum disfili the gam sudos gimel sarklasos kiddush and mishum shekol sudos richel miazon. Right, we learned this when we were learning halachas shalosh shudah, but this is a different twist. Maharam al-Shakar explains why the Rambam says that you should have yayin by each of the sudas on Shabbos, including Shalosh Shudas, has nothing to do with you should make a kiddush during Shalosh Shudas. We learned about that, right? We saw about that. Rather, the idea is to be b'oineg, and when you have yayin, you'll have more of an oineg mastama. The Gam b'yom tov matzina b'paiskim. We also find in Hilchos Yom Tov Siman Tavkuf Chaf Tes shesarach l'chvol sudas al yayin that the suda needs to be on yayin. The Alpi Zenir the Mishim Akadosh Koydem Asuda, and based on this, it appears that someone who makes kiddush before the suda, so according to this, you should have yain during the suda, even if you made kiddush before and then you had some alcohol. Have yain. Okay, so then he's going into reasons for having fish by all 3 sudas. The Lakutim at the end of the Sefer Imri Noyam ala Torah, as well as the Darchei Chaim V'Shalom, Shalosh Jubas Vaser Toiv, the Ben Ish Chaya all discussed that this is Kabbalistic reasons. Then he quotes the Shalosh Jubas Semach Tzedek, who says, even though that Kavod Shabbos, even if it would be Midaoraisa, as the pasuk says, V'karasa l'Shabbos oineg, nevertheless, eating the fish on Shabbos would not be Deoraisa. Midaoraisa, you could have anything for Kavod Shabbos. So he wants you having cholent during the Suda and fish during the Suda.
Now, again, these things are in terms of oneg, right? If a person doesn't enjoy it or doesn't want it, he doesn't have to. It's just we say there's an Indian. It's not just an extra mitzvah.
Yes.
It's something nice to do.
Yes, we are going to discuss that more in Reish Mem Beis. that this idea of if you don't like fish, you don't have to have fish. All right, so we're going to discuss that very important point. So to say. It was given for oinig, for pleasure. So if your pleasure is not eating the fish, then you don't have to eat the fish. And that halacha also isn't fishy. Okay, kuf lamed. You know when you say a line and you just say the same exact line 10 times in a row, like eventually it's like, why are you still saying it? Just kidding. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah. This tshuva is incredibly mechudush. And I'm telling you right now, there's a tremendous amount of insight in this tshuva. So listen very carefully. We know that there's a well-known custom to have at sudas where there's fish and meat, to have the fish first and then the meat. The question is it halachically permissible to have meat first and then fish after? Good question.
We'll just wash your mouth out. What's the Indian? I mean, we talk about sakana together.
Yeah.
So it's not together.
Very good. Okay. Very good.
I'm just
the havamina maybe would be a lot of it has to do with the digestive system. If a person's eating meat, could they have cheese after? No. How much time do they need to wait? Let's say 6 hours, right? Most people wait 6. Okay. What about the other way around? Person's going from meat from milk
cheese
to meat.
Milk, yeah.
Right. So that you wait, let's say an hour, right?
Half an hour, wash your mouth out. Different opinions.
Whatever, I wait. Okay, so an hour, right? So why is there a difference of 5 hours from 1 hour to 6 hours? Right, so the answer is because it has to do with digestive system, and also because the basar bein hashnaim, the meat will stay in your teeth longer. So the chiddush is based on that. Maybe if meat is going to digest slower than fish, and by the way, we're going to see why is the custom to have fish before meat. Think about that one.
Knows why don't people do it afterwards?
No, why don't people do meat first, right?
No, I'm saying right.
You could have meatballs and rice as an appetizer. You could have
fish as the main.
Yeah, you could have whatever, some small poppers or something. Like they go in the restaurants, the appetizers, right? They put these small little thing, Moroccan cigars. I don't know.
Right. Then you have fish afterwards.
Yeah. Why can't why is it that way? So these
he's
are
gonna come into that.
Yeah. These are the tires. So the kitchen, what he's gonna go into, from what I remember. When did I learn this last? I wonder. They should have the date over here. Must have been 2 weeks ago. You got to go view details. What does it say? Nishmas. Yeah, here 1/. No, because that's when it's really 1:15. See, because we've edited it since then 1:15. So this is 12 days ago. I looked at it. Okay, I'll go upon him. So basically, from what I remember that he's going to say is that fish from a what do they call those people? Nutritionists, right? So from a digestive and from a medical perspective, fish digest faster than meat, and it's better. It warms up your stomach more, so to say. It's like a warm up, so to say. Like you stretch before you exercise. It's the same exact idea. So based on that, maybe it would be a problem having meat first. So, all right, so let's see his tshuva over here. This is one of the interesting tshuvas that I thought. Right, good question. Let's say a person forgot and he ate meat first. Right? So could he have fish after? Right. Is there an Indian, a halachic basis for having fish first and in the beginning of the Suda? So the answer to these questions are no, there's no reason. And technically you could have the meat first if you want, but then he says wash your hands.
Even if you're using utensils?
Maybe not then. Good point. But there are klal minhag ha'olam bein b'Shabbos bein b'moisachol. Probably not if you're using utensils. He says that the custom is, but that's why you have different forks, right? Yeah. Now, in general, the custom of the world, whether on Shabbos or during the week, is people have fish before meat. Right? Probably not just for Jews, for anyone in the world, I would assume. In the poskim, I didn't find any source for this. Actually, this is probably only Jews. We're much more careful with stuff like that. But anyways, there's no source for this in the poskim. That's a good question. You could ask someone. Say, I have a riddle for you. Where is it brought down to have fish before meat? The answer is it's not. It's as if people are concerned, oh, I'm having fish after me. Where are you coming from? Why? Okay. Benido and Shayla say, no, and therefore, in our Shaila, in our case, since there's a big concept of eating fish on Shabbos, so since it's not brought down, and it's a chashuv azach to eat fish on Shabbos, therefore, if you eat meat first, you still have fish.
Is it just like by
Yeah.
milk? You're not supposed to have milk and meat on the same table. Is
Yeah.
it brought down anywhere? You shouldn't have fish. I know everybody does it. Is it brought down anywhere that you shouldn't have fish and meat at the
I
same
don't
table?
think so. I don't think so.
No, because everybody's very mocked about it, but I'm just curious.
Not having on the same table? Yeah, sarchin on that more. See, a lot of this really overlaps with your day and Yonim. This is like Kuf Tes Zayin type of shilas in your day. I'm referring to, not Or Chaim, of course. Where it talks about in Yonim pertaining to sakana, and anyways, okay. Perhaps the reason for this custom is based on the following. Involved. Bein dag lebasser hu dafke kishe kodem lechel basser va'acher kach roitz lechel dogim k'dedaik lashon machaber shulchan aruch chaim kufay gimel. Right, kufay and gimel and aruch chaim is the halachos of mayim emsoim. We know mayim rishonim. We know mayim achronim. This is mayim emsoim, middle waters. We don't really do this nowadays. Oh, your day of kufta zayin. What I say? Loi kishe mikoydem achol dogim va'acher chosil basser. So the Marsham relates that the obligation to wash between fish and meat would only exist if a person had meat first, not if a person had fish first. Also, Shulchan Aruch says this. However, if a person ate fish first, it's permissible afterwards to eat meat, even without rinsing his mouth out and washing his hands. If a person ate fish, he could eat meat after, even without, right? Meaning, what does it say? Kinuach ve'adacha. I thought you do need hadacha. Let's see what he says. Tamachalik near pashat. The whole gam linyan achilas basar v'chalav the srich lamt involved shas masinu chiluk zeh l'chalik beinim koydem achol chalav beinim mikol. Right. We find that by eating milk and cheese, there's milk and meat. There's a difference of whether you had the meat first or the milk, like we just said. Right. If a person had meat first, you got to wait 6 hours. Dairy first, it's a stringency. You wait a half an hour, whatever your custom is. Similarly, the Tashbates brings this. Tashbates cotton simin tovkuf nun that the Maharsham. No, it's not the Shalos and Shuvas Tashbates. If you were going to look it up, it's a different sefer. Just letting you know, I've done it before. Okay. The Maharsham washed his hands when he ate meat and he wanted to eat fish. Why? Because Chamir Sakanta Misuro, danger is more stringent than a prohibition. That's only talking about if you had meat first. Maybe perhaps since most people aren't careful with these middle waters, aka in between the fish and the meat, therefore we have the fish first, and then you don't need to wash in between. But if someone wants to do the opposite and have meat first, he could. Just make sure to wash your hands in between. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry, especially when it comes to Oneg Shabbos. Satmar Rebbe, he was stringent to wash his hands in between fish and meat. Interesting.
Wow, even though he did the davening first.
Correct. The reason to have the fish first is because Sadiqim are Gilgulim and they come in the fish in the form of Gilgulim. So therefore you have the fish first. And here there's a dafka and right. So this is only talking about 2 things. Number one, preferably you have the fish first, right? But there wouldn't be an issue if you had the meat first. And number 2, there's only people who kabbalistically understand what's happening over here. Literally the masters of secrets, that they know the secrets of the Gilgulim and the Gilgulim of the Neshamas. Maybe the reason for having the fish first for another reason. This is what I said before. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Deos, Perek Dalet Halacha Zayin, that when you eat, you should eat foods that get digested quicker first. This is the source of where appetizers came from. Salads first came from. When a person eats, he should first eat food that is lighter. He should eat before food that's heavier. And based on this, the Kaf HaChaim writes in Simin Kufna and Zayin, Sifkat Lamed Ches, Sheyak Machilas Dogim, Achilas Komini Basar. Person should first eat fish before he eats all type of meat, even basar off, even chicken. Gam ki hadogim him chamim yoiser uma'achel hamachel b'mehera. Also, if the fish is hot, so then it will help with the digestion. It will digest faster. So that's good advice. That's l'chachila. Preferably you do that. But if you didn't, then it's fine. You can still eat fish after the meat. This is a tshuva. I thought it was an interesting tshuva.
Wow, so he would wash between fish and meat, eating the fish first.
No,
that seems to be a very big.
Yeah, I don't even know if people would have meat if they would need to wash if you're having your fork. I'm not sure because I think he actually brings in this piece. No, actually, he brings in the rest of this piece. I didn't highlight it because I thought it was a weird point. I think he was actually talking about that some of them would be stringent to eat with without using utensils. That's what I think he's going to talk about over here. Did he talk about this here?
No, I think it's talking with you eating without utensils.
Yeah, it is. No, he brought down somewhere. I remember I saw somewhere. I remember he brought down somewhere that they would like eat it specifically with their hands. I was like, this is weird. I'm not gonna highlight this. I guess it's not in this tshuva, but I think if it was with you,
the fish. I don't know the meat too, but the fish.
No, the fish. Yeah, I was like, that's weird. I'm not gonna highlight that. But according to that, that's what you need to wash. I think if you wouldn't be doing that with your hands, then you wouldn't need to. All right. Anyways, everyone should have a wonderful day. Right. Tomorrow we will be mamshech. We will continue.
All right.
All right.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
Wait, so very nice. Oh, so what, having the fish in the Reb Shon said something about having the fish in the there's no. I don't understand why is there? There's no sakana about having fish and meat on the table, because you see that you don't see much about a kiddush.
Yeah, but the question is, if you have the fish and the meat at the same table, is there a concern that you might come to eat from both of them at the same time?
For sure.
So then maybe it would be a problem. I don't know. I have to.
You see by kiddush. You see by I don't see it so much by people's suitors, but by kiddush, sometimes
kiddush they always separate the meat and the fish.
No, they don't. They have the herring, and then
they don't.
Then they have the herring, and then sometimes they bring the cholent out. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's also at the same table, but you got to be careful. That's all.
Yeah. But, all right.
All right.
What else? Oh, we said something about what as far as the there's something that says somewhere about why and this fish is like a preparatory thing for meat, or no? I mean, like it's like it actually is a food that helps you digest other food, or no?
Yeah, that's what he was just saying it then, based on the Rambam. That the fish digests better first.
Oh yeah, that's why he says to eat fruit first, right?
That's why fish first.
No, but in the hierarchy, I think he says to eat fruit first.
Yeah, or salads, whatever. Yeah, because it digests faster. Yeah.
We say,
yeah.
We say basar v'dagim in a lot of. We have basar v'dagim. We say it in a couple songs. Samiros, I think.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.